everybody, a warm welcome to another interview on Wisdom from North. I'm Jannike, and today it's such an honor for me to be here with Matías De Stefano. At a very young age, Matias was able to remember his connection to the Akashic records, and this information gave him a powerful understanding of the universe and the different layers of reality that we all exist in. And his dream is to help everyone understand how the universe operates and the different purposes that each and every one of us has. Hello, Matias. Welcome to the show. How are you today?
Hi. Good. Thank you for inviting me.
Sure. Now, I'm really excited about delving into your knowledge because you've lived quite an extraordinary life, and I'd love to move into dimensions today to understand more about how the universe operates, because I've never met anyone with that knowledge. And from what I understand, this has been with you all your life, so you kind of felt that you were different. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience being a human with these extraordinary memories, cosmic memories, you can say?
Yes, I was born with this. For me, it was always normal. It was all the time like that since I was born. But the first 10 years of my life, I had this connection with other beings that were in other dimensions, that they used to explain me how to be a human. They used to explain me how to understand other people, how to understand nature. They would teach me about emotions and the cosmos and everything. But they usually used to say, then you will remember, then you will remember. So when I was 12 years old, there was a day that two of them came and said, you will stop seeing us, you will hear us, but you will not able to see us anymore, because next week you will start to remember. So 7 days after that, I start to remember like past lives, but suddenly it was not just past lives, it was everything, even in between the lives, in different realities, in different situations. And so it's been like many years, my whole teenagehood, it was like constantly every day remembering a little bit more about my lives, the universe, dimensions, realities, but it was not information, it was all emotional. Oh. And I was lucky to have a family that was not religion. They don't have any ideas, so they thought I was a very creative person, until my mom realized that there was something weird going on too. So she started to look for help to understand what was happening. So suddenly we met some people that helped, psychologists, and so that helped me to understand that what I was remembering was something that they were looking for their whole life to understand. So they helped me to understand my memories, and when I was 17, 18 years old, I kind of I did a therapy that organizes everything within me. Like it was like an instant, and I could understand why I was here and everything that I have come to here to do here. It was like ordering, like putting order to a library, something like that.
Yes, because I can imagine that it can be confusing having access to a memory from all these realities, in a sense trying to be in this reality, in the physical reality. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I had help from my family, and I had help from my other family. For me, the other beings were not spiritual beings. They were like brothers, like people that my family that brought me here, and so for me it was natural. So I had help from both sides.
So this other family, how do you perceive them? Did they look as physical as me right now, or is it more like they had another quality to their energy? Or could you try to explain how you would interact with them and what they are in a sense?
Well, the first beings that I saw that were talking to me were 7 monkeys. So it was really weird. And I, yeah, I don't usually explain that, but there were 7 monkeys until my 6 years old. Then I start to see elemental beings like gnomes and fairies and so. And then I began to see angels, like people but dressed like normal, walking around and talking to me. And then the next step was like beings very, very tall, with no face. They were all shiny, very long, like bald, and they didn't talk with voice. They talked here. The voice were resounding here. And I told them, why did I see all these creatures? And they said, we don't want to scare you because you were a child. So, so they were choosing like images in my brain to be more accepted by a child. So I understood that in the fourth, fifth dimension, they have not a shape. So they just project the shapes that we can understand. Yeah.
Fascinating. So is this your family in a sense? Does that mean that you feel like you're coming from a place where your family is? And is that so with every one of us, that we kind of have a cosmic family out there?
Well, it's not like that we have a cosmic family, but it is like, for example, I'm an Argentinian, but my family comes from Italy, so I am like bounded to Italy, even if I am not from there. But my whole DNA, my whole soul is bounded to Italy in somehow. So this doesn't mean that my whole story comes from Italy. For sure, some people from Italy, from my family, they came from Greece, and from Greece from Turkey, or who knows. So in the cosmic realm, it's almost the same. So I am bounded to Sirius, to the constellation of Canis Major. I used to live 2 or 3 lives there in 2 different planets. So I am related to the family of Sirius people, as many others with Pleiades and Arcturus or whatever. But this doesn't mean that they are our family. It means that our soul went through that experience before coming here. So that's why we are more bounded to them, because it was the last spot when we were before Earth.
Right. Okay. So you had a life there. I know you remember several lives, but let's talk about that one. I've always wondered how it looks like there. Do they have like physicality like we do, or is it not even possible to explain because our human minds cannot understand how things work there?
In Sirius,
yes.
where I lived?
Yeah.
No, they are physical.
Oh, okay.
Where I lived, it was physical. Yeah, it was 3D matter, but they used to, the way of traveling was in the 4th dimension. So it was different. So they were able to go into the 4th dimension also, but normally we were in the 3rd dimension. For myself, my body was like 3 meters tall, with a long head, like elongated, like a cone, and dark eyes, like brownish gray skin, long fingers, small mouth and nose, like a typical alien, but some stuff were different. And we used to dress not much stuff. And we used to communicate more telepathically, because we were like 3 races in the whole world, and we accomplished like a government for the whole planet, because we had like 3 brains, like not right and left. We had these 2 and 1 more. So we accomplished to talk with the mind, and that changed our way of society, because there were not lies, because we could hear everything, every thought. So So the evolution took us to a different kind of civilization in which we were like ants or like bees, but we were known as the architects of civilization. We understood very well the geometry of creation, so we were the ones like helping other planets in evolution, how to create quantum machines to connect with the whole. And it was, compared to Earth, it was very boring.
Compared to what? Sorry?
Compared to the planet Earth, it was very boring.
Oh.
Yeah, there was no much culture. Here is too fun.
So this planet, would you say that these were higher evolved beings in a sense that is assisting, for instance, us? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So mm-hmm. Are they then, is that, would you say it's a past life, or is it actually that you would say perhaps that you are existing there as well right now in a sense? Yeah.
It's for me, it's like a past life because we are bounded to this third-dimensional world in the system of the sun. But according to the laws of gravity in different systems, some of the things that for me happened yesterday, there maybe happened thousands of years. Just to know, the first life I had there, when I was in charge of a neighborhood, to solve problems of a group of people like that. There were dinosaurs here.
Oh.
So, but yeah, but after I died, well, before I died, I read that there was a plan of seeding seeds of Arcturian systems that we didn't call Arcturians, of course, to plant seeds in 3 different systems, and one of them was here. We used to call this planet Anglusaha, and I knew before I was dead in that life, it was like I knew that there was a plan of coming here. But the thing is that plan took place like really shortly after my death in that time. But even though at that moment there was human here, that there were human here. So in a short period of time in Sirius, it's been like 60 million years in Earth. So I don't know exactly how it works, but,
right.
But I can tell that.
I mean, when we speak about time, it's just impossible almost to speak about time. What I got curious about now, sorry, was that, okay, so these are the lives. You still have birth and death in a sense, because you said you died. Yeah. So that means that it's kind of a bit similar. They also have birth and death on other planets.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Yeah, they have. There are planets way behind in evolution than we are, and there are, of course, planets that they are way ahead of us. One of the, for example, Pleiades, the system of stars that is in the constellation of Taurus, they had too many suns in the system, like. They're related with many suns, so there's too much radiation, too much energy, as I can understand, and that made the evolution of them into light beams because of radiation. So that's why they became like eternal, because they don't need food to keep the bodies going. They just use the energy of the suns, like plants, but they transform constantly the atomic system of their bodies. So that's why they kind of are like angels. You can see them like angels.
Oh, that makes sense. So when you then died from this other incarnation, and then when then you became a spirit again, then I get curious. The spiritual world. I mean, I guess that's it's a huge question also. But is it like, you know, all the different species in a sense kind of connect in the spirit world? I guess I'm wondering.
The spirit world, you mean?
Yeah, when you died from being like on Sirius.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you go then? How did the spirit world look like? And I assume then that you meet spirit from all kinds of planets, in a sense.
Oh yeah. It's when you die, of course, you are not related to other planets. You are related to the fifth dimension or fourth dimension of this planet, because normally the spiritual world that we call, it's the vibrational aspect of reality. So when you die in a planet, you are bounded to the vibration of this planet. You can stand the vibration of other planets. So until you don't get rid of all the vibration of this planet, you will still be attached to the systems of this planet. So that's why the fourth dimension for humans is really like if you had another life here. It's very similar. The fifth dimension is very similar because the beings in the fifth dimension, they look like humans because they are also bounded to the planet. So the whole system of the spiritual world, it's like talking about organs and chakras. So every organ is the physical aspect, and then the chakra is the energetical aspect, and then they have a different vibration aspect, but they are still in the same level. So the heart chakra is bounded to the organ heart. The vibration of the rhythm, which is the law of the spirit rhythm, is attached to the heartbeat. So that's why when you go into the spiritual world, if you wear a cell on a heart, on one heart, so you're going to be part of the chakra of the heart in the fourth and the fifth dimension. You're not going to be a part of a feet of the feet, you know. So it's like a big body. The cosmos is like a big body, and it's all bounded by vibration. So you cannot be in Pleiades just like that. Even in the fourth and the fifth dimension, you need to be prepared energetically to stand the vibration of Pleiades, for example. So, but in the fourth dimension, space is relative, and so does the time. So you can go there, you can be there if you have worked in order to accomplish a vibration according to that system.
Okay, yeah, because I got a bit disappointed there, because I've always felt like I belong to the Pleiades and I will go straight back, but I assume perhaps that.
Oh, you can go, of course, but you have to work.
Okay. I'll work hard.
Yeah, it's well, in other dimensions, it's like here. For example, I don't know, you're in Norway, but maybe, I don't know, you want to go to Brazil, and well, you have to take an airplane and to work to buy the ticket, or take a boat. It would take longer. There's many ways to go there, but the energy is different there. Of course, there is too cold, and Brazil is too hot. So you need to be prepared. You cannot bring a coat to Brazil. You have to, it's kind of like that. So
even though I've been there before, like even though I've had past lives there.
Yeah. Yes, because this is not, when you die, it's not like you are free, because we had a weird concept of what life it is. Life is not what you have now and then you die. Life is a constant in the universe that has some moments that stop and gone, stop and gone, stop and gone, but it's a whole life. So what you call death is just a low vibration of the body and then being born is like high vibration of the body. So that's life, the complete process. Okay, so when you are not even if you have been there, you have densified your body and your soul in order to be here. So your soul now is related to this vibration here. So when you die, you still hold that vibration. So your life didn't end. Your life is still going on. So what you have to do is to work in your life in order to be more light, to not to have so much heavy, to have a coherent life. So when you die, you will be more light. So that allows you to go wherever you want in the mind of the universe. But normally is we don't do that because we have so many things to work with. So that's why the fourth dimension of Earth is really full of people. It's really full of people that are waiting to reincarnate once and again until they find a way out. But it's not because it's like a prison. It's because we don't know how to change our vibration to be free from the system. So
okay.
Kind of.
Thank you for explaining this in such a detail. I really appreciate that. We get help, right, from these benevolent higher beings. So we can ask. I'm just working with a man I just interviewed now. He's an angel intuitive and is helping me with connect with angels. Is that the way that we can then raise our frequency to work with these beings?
Well, angels, for example, they are in the fifth dimension, and they usually are really bounded to us because we are the projection in the three-dimensional existence from their existence in the fifth dimension. So that's why they are similar to us, is because we are the program, the experiential program of them. So that means that if they are in the fifth dimension, they know the whole plan. So that's why they can help us to know how to use the system. So that's why asking help or having help from beings from the fifth dimension, it's really good and really nice. But also, one of the things that they would love us to do is to figure out for ourselves. Okay. Because this is part of why we are here. We are in a school trying to understand the systems that we have created. So we need to kind of look for different ways, because the way of the fifth dimension is very different from the ways of the third dimension. So there are many things that maybe they say you have to be ready for this, but you don't have the tools to accomplish that. But they see the potential that you have because they can tell that you already have done it in the future. But you say, how? I don't know how. So that's the experience that we need to work with. That's something that they cannot help us. Is something that we have to do. So
why do you think that you remember and not all of us? It would be so easy if we could remember.
Well, it's not so easy. It's not so easy. And it's not that someone decides it. It's not like there is a God saying, okay, you will remember, you not, you see, you do, you not, it's not like that. There's nobody deciding. It's about the preparation. It's about what you have done in your system, in your life, in your existence in the universe, your preparation, your kind of job in the universe, the missions that you had in the past lives, all this related to what is happening. So every one of us has a mission, and if we could remember everything that we have done, it would be impossible for us to concentrate in our own mission in this moment. So not remembering, it's like a help, a biological help to concentrate in what you have to do now. Imagine, for example, for me, it was really hard because when I was 12 years old, I remember everything that I have to do in this life, in the future, and I got really nervous because I said I can't do it, and I hadn't the tools. I had no idea how to do it. I was really nervous. It was too big for me, and when you don't know everything that is going to happen, you kind of enjoy the preparation for what is going to happen, because you can learn specifically what you have to learn now because you think this is the most important thing, and then suddenly it's not, but you now have the tool, and then you go to do another thing. So it's all about concentration. It's all about to be focusing in specific times. For me, this life is like the concentration of many things that I needed to accomplish in this specific moment. So that's why I needed to remember specifically some of the spots of the history, so I could do it. But also, we all are going to remember sooner or later, because it's not just about people; it's about the planet. The planet is the one that is remembering. So soon, the whole population will remember many things and stuff.
Let's go there, because I saw a video where you were speaking about, I think it was a previous life that you had, that it was actually the planet that had the thoughts. It was something about that you were a result of the planet in a sense. It was like a totally different perspectives that I've ever seen before or heard. So Gaia, let's take her. So you're saying that when she remembers, then we will kind of be influenced by that and remember.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because our spirits has a story. They had a story. Our souls, they had a story, but our bodies has a different story. And our bodies are not beings on Earth. Our bodies are Earth. We are her. We are she. We are a part of her. We are not something from outside that came inside. So we are not Earth and humans. It's not Gaia and humans. It's us. I am. It's the whole thing. So when spirits and souls come to this planet, they need to adapt to the process of Earth. So one thing is our own path through evolution in spiritual systems, and totally different is us as humans on the planet. So we are not here being individuals. We are here being a whole being. So whatever happens to us is what is happening to the Earth. Whatever happens to Earth is what happens to us. So if a lot of people is now aware of us being like a different consciousness, it's not because humans are awakening, it's because the planet is awakening. And we, as a result, remember.
Wow.
So we have to imagine ourselves like if every human is a neuron in the consciousness, in the brain of the planet. So there are some neurons that hold some information, some other neurons that brings other information. So we are all different, but we are neurons in a whole system, in a body. So when the body changes its mind, the whole neurons start to work in order to balance with that change of mind or change of reality. So what we are living right now, for example, is like a reaction of the planet saying, wait a moment, I'm crazy? Because I say that every culture we have, every country that we have created, everything that we have done in this planet right now, it's like it's not like a mess, but it's like schizophrenia for the planet, because the planet is just like trying to figure out who she is. So humans have awakened in the moment of awakening of the planet. The planet is saying, who can I be? That's what she started to ask. So all the humans, all the cultures, all the countries are trying to figure out who we are. So, but now that we accomplished the whole picture of the planet and we have globalization, the planet says, oh, I am all this. So what is the truth about all this? So now every country is trying to be aware of the truth and so on. So it's like a process. It's like a kid that looks in the mirror and says, oh, that's me. What can I do with me? So it's a process of evolution of the planet. It's not just us.
I thank you for that. I've never ever seen it like that, and I'm noticing my whole body is like I'm having some reactions. Like it's really touching. It touches me. I think I just felt connected to it, and it resonates. It makes sense. And also, then I'm thinking that how man or humans have this conflict inside. Then I can understand this conflict in a sense between body and spirit. We're in a sense pulled in different directions, and awakening here and understanding there. And wow. Yeah. Would you say that there are any coincidences, or is everything like cosmically planned, like there's an order in everything, or do we have a free will where we can, in a sense, mess things up?
Well, we are very conditioned by many systems. Everything is very, very conditioned. So it's not that everything is written, but everything have patterns. So the patterns that we created are like something that is almost impossible to change. The only way we can change realities is from the mind that created those realities. So that's why it's so important to connect with the spiritual consciousness that we have, because the only one that has free will is the spirit. Everything, the rest, doesn't have real free will. It has just an aspect of the free will, which is the decision of how to use the tools that we have. So we have to imagine this. It's like if we were ourselves, like I'm a free spirit that says, I know everything about the universe. I know everything. I can be related to any dimension. I can be everywhere, in every world, anytime. I can do anything. So what is challenging for someone that is eternal? The limits. So for someone that is constantly eternal, that has every answer for everything, limitations are the challenges. So what the spiritual beings did was to challenge themselves in evolution to seek for different answers to solve problems, to see if they can improve their own truth. So imagine yourself saying, okay, I will prove my limitations, so I will make other beings to build a house with no windows and no doors, and they have to put me inside of it, okay, inside of it, and they will cover with a roof that house, and no way out. And they will tell me, oh, but we are gonna give you two tools to to go through the walls, and they give you how do you say a pencil? No, not a pencil, like
a brush or
yeah, like a brush. Yeah, like a brush and some colors, like oil colors, and okay, do whatever you want with that, and they close it. So now you have too many walls, and you have to break the walls with a brush. So how do you start? So the thing is that we are all like that. We created a system to limit ourselves to prove the different ways in which we can open the doors of that reality that we have created. So it's not a prison, it's a proof. It's a test for ourselves. So whether you can take the brush and start to hit the wall, or you can paint a door and paint windows to see something, so so what is free will? Free will is what do you want to do with the tools you have, but you have conditions, only 2 tools and you're locked. So the free will, what was the free will? That you created the brush, you created the paint, and you created the house, and you decided to go inside. That's the free will.
Right. I want to go a little bit back to Atlantis. I'm very fascinated by ancient history, and I just had another interview with, I don't know if you know Jordan River. He has created Spirit Science on YouTube. We spoke about ancient Egypt. And from what I understand, you have had a life in Atlantis, and what I saw in the video where you spoke about it, you said it was 15,000 years ago. And I'm curious to hear. I mean, time is interesting from one perspective, though. So I've heard that Atlantis is even much older, like 200, 300,000 years ago. And here I heard 15,000 years ago. So I'm curious, maybe did it last that long? Or can you tell us like a little bit about Atlantis?
Yeah. Most of the things that I remember from that civilization was because of my grandfather in that life, 12,000 years ago, that he told me how their grandparents moved into Egypt at that time. Egypt didn't exist. It was a colony of Atlantis. And why do I say 12,000 years ago and 15,000 years ago? Because of weather. I have a really, really big problem saying numbers. I'm like dyslexic with numbers, but I can tell the weather and the geography, how it was, what I remember of how everything was. And according to my memories and how it was all distributed in the planet at that time, it was the worm glaciation. Okay, I did maps when I was a child of how the world used to look like, and it matches with that glaciation that took place in between 17,000 years ago and 10,000 years ago. So 10,000 years ago, it ended. And I remember that we were in the last period of the final glaciation. So that's why I used to say it was 12,000 years ago, because it matches with the weather, with the geography, and what was happening in the planet at that moment. So 200,000 years ago was the time when the fathers and mothers of Atlantis arrived to this planet. We were humans, but we had also some people that modified our way of living, our civilization, everything, and they came at that time. So
where did they come from? Do you mean like beings from outer space came?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they came and they made some tests and proofs 200,000 years ago, because it was the moment when the Homo sapiens appeared in the planet. So that meant that was designed for those beings was the sign that says, oh, this planet is getting aware of itself. So I remember that plan from Sirius. Whenever there's a species that can say I am and reflects itself, is the moment to recognize that that planet is being aware of itself. So it's going into the direction of creating a portal in between dimensions. So that's why they choose this planet. It's not because humans, but humans we were like a sign of awareness of the planet. So so that brought them to this system, and they start to we say seed the seeds of their own civilizations to see if they were able to live in this planet and create a civilization according to what they were expecting. So it took like 150,000 years, to develop a civilization that was a being that was able to incarnate the souls of those beings from other systems. So we could say that the civilizations that we usually call Lemurians and Atlanteans, also the ones in the north and other groups that were all around the planet, they were tested for many years until we could be the perfect species to download the information that they were willing to download. So so the last period of that civilization, of Atlantis civilization, was during the age of Virgo, and the age of Virgo was around 15,000 years ago. So
okay, I think I almost got that. So in a way, are you saying that we are actually these other beings, like we are a result of them, like we are like a combination of them?
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah. I'm curious about Egypt and the pyramids and the Sphinx and all these major colossal structures. What was that knowledge that came from these beings, and why did it disappear? Like this knowledge.
Yeah, the system of pyramids was a system designed and downloaded during the period of Atlantis, because the goal of the structure was something that some planets designed. For example, in Gludok, the planet of Sirius that I used to live, we had pyramids too, but they were not with 4 faces. They were with 3 faces, and the structure of these pyramids, what they taught us about why do we have this, why do we have to build these systems, is because in the third dimensional realities, in order to get into the network, which is the core and the void, to connect with the whole divine, you need a structure that represents the sphere in 3 dimensions. And the structure that represents a sphere in 3 dimensions is like an octahedron that holds the whole system. And these octahedrons should have also a bending faces, creating like a wave. So that's why the pyramids doesn't have 4 faces, but they have 8 faces, down, up, like creating a wave. So they are space and time at the same structure. So what they created with this pyramid was a network, like a computer system, that helped the civilizations to download or upload any information from the evolution from any system of the galaxy to the core of the planet, and from the core of the planet to any system of the galaxy. So this was like a place to, in Atlantean times, we used to name the system like creating humans into gods, something like that. Because in Atlantean times, we didn't believe in gods and goddesses. That's a misunderstanding. We understood the divine in every aspect. So we call the divine of the nature, the divine of this and that. And the priests and priestesses were the divine of knowledge. So that's why in Egypt they related the priests and priestesses with gods. And they put animal faces like attributes of those gods. But they were priests and priestesses working in the divine. And the pyramids were like the last test to connect with the divine within. So they were like machines, like quantum machines, to connect with the core of the planet and the core of reality. And as many we have, according to every portal in every constellation, we were able to download more information to the core system of the planet. So we understood at that time that the planet was like a spaceship. Some people used to call it like that today, like a spaceship, a living spaceship, because it helped us to, the people that looks into the sky and they want to go to the heaven, they are going, they're going away from the goal of the main consciousness. Because if you understand how the universe works, is expansion, is chaos, and experiences. But contraction is integration. Okay? So the better way to go into the real core of reality is if you go to the core of the planet, not to the stars. And that's why they created a system to download the stars into Earth. And we used to call that system Atartumti, that means bringing heaven to Earth. And that was the plan that I remember when I was 12 years old. How to download the stars into the planet. That's why how to become ourselves like gods, how to download information from all these alien beings, from the different aspects of the divine. And the pyramids, the structures, were machines to help us accomplish that thing. And the reason why it stopped, the Sphinx, you asked about the Sphinx, the pyramids were, all the pyramids, most of the pyramids were built before or a bit after the glaciation time. So the Egyptian pyramids has like 10 to 12,000 years old, and the Sphinx is a bit older, and it didn't have the face of a person. It was a lion, and it was all painted in red, and the face has many colors. And the chambers below, we storage information in basins of water, because in Atlantean times we didn't write much. We shunted the information. So all the books were written in water. So whenever we wanted to learn stuff, the priest was singing and we were drinking water while doing that. So that's why it's nothing written, not even in the walls, because it was all about vibration. That's why it's lost.
Wow. Thank you for explaining this. This is, oh my goodness, how fascinating. I know you gotta go now. Just tell us, how do you work now? I know your mission is really to help people understand this. Are you, is it a dream to write books? Are you traveling? Not right now, but tell us a little bit about how you work and how people can, learn more from you.
Well, I'm trying to be every day a little bit more human than I am. According to my plan in 2022, my mission according to the 12,000 year story finished. So I have only 2 years to do it right. So all information about what I'm going to do in these next 2 years is to to reconnect the network of I am. Since the time of Atlantis, when the glaciation ended, the whole system like shut down, and it's been like 12,000 years with nobody going to the spots where these keys and doors are in the planet for the network of consciousness. So what I am going to do in these next 2 years is to go to all these spots in a trip that will take 2 years, and that's my mission for now. So in my social media, in everything, well, I have a foundation that it's helping me to with all the people that follows me, to raise the money to do the trip, because it's a difficult trip. and what I'm trying to do is to help people to understand that we are Earth, that if we are balanced and coherent with ourselves, with her, we evolve. So my goal by now is to help people to understand how the systems of dimension, of co-creation, of soul, spirit, body works, and how all this evolution system of the planet, when it gets like not perfect, but working a little bit more in a network of consciousness in the planet, which I am to work with in these 2 years. What I'm willing to do is to, again, download these systems from the other dimensions here, so we could download new information for economics, education, politics, architecture, and all the systems that that a lot of people is channeling, but that the planet is not holding it because the network is not strong enough to hold a new system. So right now I'm trying to do that.
Wow, powerful. And just if you can say, what can we do? Do you have any advice? What can we do to help this process?
Well, we have to be more coherent. And coherent means we need to ask ourselves if what we are doing in our lives is exactly what our emotions want, what our body needs, what our spirit or mind are created. So thinking. So it's so simple that it's difficult. The simple is think if what you do, what you feel, and what you think matches. If it doesn't match, so you are not incoherent. And first that, and then if also is coherent with the environment, if the people that you meet, the people with you, who you work with, the whole system around, if it doesn't matches, it's because you are not coherent. Coherent is not to be moral, like not to be in a cultural moral, like it's not to follow a line. That's being coherent. So coherent is if you are coherent with yourself, with the line of yourself. And it's not about spirituality. It's not about that. It's not about how much we meditate. It's about how much we deal with ourselves and we are coherent with the environment. I think that there will be a lot of people that are not spiritual, that doesn't believe in what I'm saying, that are most useful for the system that many of the people that is working in the spirituality. So it's all about to be coherent with the system of the earth, not the system of humans. So I guess that's the most important task to do. And my guys used to tell me that in order to put order to that, we need to take care of what we eat better, to breathe better, and to laugh more. Okay. Those are the three main things that we have to take care of.
I love that. Really tangible tools. That's great. You know, I just got to say, this is one of the most profound interviews I've had. It was such a pleasure, such a joy to be here with you today. And thank you so much for showing up and sharing in such detail all this knowledge. Wow. Thank you for your work, and thank you so much for today.
Thank you. Thank you too.
And thank you so much for watching, everybody. Much light from here. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi everybody, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please subscribe and click the thumbs up and click the bell in order to get notifications of my new videos. Now, I also have a free gift for you. If you want to become a conscious co-creator, you can click on my free meditation below called Meet Your Future Self, where you have the possibility to co-create with the highest future version of